welcome from me, Martin Smith from a sunny Cornwall, to my YouTube channel. I trust you're well and interested in learning how to create a form for quoting sales prices. In this session, we'll develop our newly won skills by creating a quote form for crown carpet. The form will allow us to enter the room dimensions and offer fitting prices from our catalogue of stock. In this session, we will create the basic form and calculation and some branding to make it look more professional. Next session, we'll add data from our pricing catalogue to partially automate the form. So we have opened a blank workbook ready to create our quote form for crown carpets. I'm assuming you're happy at data entry. If not, can you please review some of the previous tutorials? Now, starting in A1, we're going to enter the details of the customer. You can obviously invent anything you like. Okay, that's my customer. Somewhere over here, and you'll see why later, let's say cell H1, we'll enter the address for crown carpets. Now we need to leave a little gap here, and you'll see why later. We're going to enter the length and the width of the room we need to put the details in for. Obviously, this is part of the costing process, so length. And then we'll calculate the area of the room and the perimeter. Somewhere around about here, we need to enter the length. Let's say it's 4.5 meters long. And let's say the width is 2 meters wide. Area should be the length times the width. So in order to do any calculation in Excel, we put an equal sign in to start with. And the easiest way is to click on the cell that you want to multiply. So in my case, it's E12. Yours may be something different. Then the multiply sign, which is either on your numeric keypad if you've got one, or Shift and 8 if you haven't. And click on the width. Now notice you've got a blue box and a red box. And in the calculation, you've got the blue and the red cells referenced. So E12 times E13 in my case. One's blue and one's red. If we go to the formula bar at the top and click on that, you get the same blue and red. So it's a very quick way of telling you what cells you're working with. And we'll enter that, which is 9 meters squared. So that should be meters squared. So M2. That's not quite right. That's M2 rather than M squared, isn't it? So clicking on our cell, click on our formula bar, left mouse button and drag to get the 2 highlighted. Then we'll click on this little down arrow to get the form up, and there is a superscript option there. Okay, that. Then it's correct, it's M squared. Now perimeter is length times width twice, length plus width twice. So it's 4.5 plus 2.5, in our case 6.5 times 2 is 13. That's the number we should get. So equals length plus width times 2. Oh, that's not the answer I expected. Remember your order of operations in maths, BEDMAS. In brackets are processed before exponents. Exponents are evaluated before division and multiplication, and everything is evaluated before addition and subtraction. Note, division and multiplication are the reverse of each other. Likewise, it doesn't matter in which order addition and subtraction is done. The general rule, once the order is resolved, is to calculate from left to right. What's done in our formula is done E13 in red times 2, which is 4, plus E12, which is 8.5, which is not the answer we want. So BEDMAS, the first part of BEDMAS is brackets. So let's put our brackets in. We'll open a bracket there. Close our brackets there. The answer is 13. That's correct. And that should be in meters. And Excel's kindly trying to put the 2 behind it, and we don't want that. So the easiest way is just delete it. Hit the delete button and enter. Now I think all these should have 1 decimal place behind it. So we're going to highlight those. In our numbers grouping up top here, we've got these left and right arrows which add and remove decimal places. So if we click on that once, it's put 2 decimal places in there. Take it back 1 and we've got 1 decimal place, which is what we want. There we go. That looks better, doesn't it? Now we'd like our user to enter the type of carpet she wants. Mrs. C. Arpit is a posh lady, so she wants deluxe wool carpet, and she's going for brown. She's going for the 1970s look. What's the price of deluxe wool carpet? Quite expensive, I think. Let's put £32.50. Obviously, if you're a different country, it'd be euros, dollars, yen, whatever, it doesn't matter. And how do we calculate the cost of that? Well, it's price times the area. So equals sign. We'll click on our wool carpets, multiply it by the area. That's looking good. That should be meters squared. So we could put our M2 and then superscript it. The easiest way is to click on that. We'll copy that and we'll stick it there. We'll change those pounds later. I can't spell wool. Now need some underlay. Being posh, she wants the deluxe one. Deluxe underlay. That's going to be cheaper, isn't it? Let's say £15 per metre squared. We could do our M2, but we're going to copy that down. So Control C, Control V. And the formula here will be deluxe underlay times area. Now around the edge you get that wooden board with a nail sticking out of it that keeps the carpet tight, the grip board. So we'll need some of that. That's going to be quite cheap, isn't it? Everything's 99, so do 199. That's going to be per metre. Excel's going to try and put a 2 behind it. We'll get rid of that 2 by hitting delete. And the formula here equals grip board times per metre. And finally, we've got fitting cost. And that should be, I don't know, £25 per metre squared. So now because the previous one's an M, it's not going to put a 2 in. And if I put a 2 in, I've got to then correct that. So I'll copy this one down. So we do Control C, Control V, because that's the quickest way of doing it. Formula for that is going to be fitting cost times area again. And finally, we're going to put a total in. So the total goes in there. Do you remember how to do that? Correct. So up here we've got alter sum. Click on that. Excel has guessed we're going to sum up those above, which is the blue with the marching ants around it, which is exactly what we want. So we'll enter that. So there we go. Okay, we need to tidy these up a bit. These all need to be in my case, pounds. At the top, we've got a number format box. Here we've got the number counting format. So we'll click on that. If you've got your Excel set up correctly, it'll put in your local currency. Exactly the same for that. Total should be in bold. We can either click on the whole row and make that bold, or we can highlight just an area and make that bold. Finally, down here, quotes normally have an expiration date. So let's put in quote valid until. And we need a date here. And our quote's always valid from the date we create it, say 30 days. So rather than having to type a date in each time, we can use our first function. Lots of functions, lots of ways of putting them in. We're just going to do this very quick and simple way of doing it today, which is equal sign. The function we're going to use is called today. It has no parameters, so we have to open and close the brackets. And that's our first function, which will give today's date, which happens to be 16th of June in my case. Now we want to add 30 days to that, so in our formula bar, we can do plus 30, and that's given us a date. So we've now got a form that's making a bit of sense. I think it'd be nice to put some form of logo in here. So I'm going to put in crown carpets with a crown in the middle. So we're going to go to Insert. Over here we've got some smart text. We're going to do word art because it's pretty. You can choose whichever of these formats you like. I'm going to choose that one. And I'm going to put in crown carpets. Now I want that wrapped around, and you'll see why I'm going to put two enters in here. You'll see why later. That's a little bit big, so we can go to the home and we can make it a bit smaller. Make sure we highlight everything first. That'll probably do. Now these handles can change the size, but if you put your cursor between the handles, you'll get this four-way arrow. Click on that left mouse button, drag it, and we'll stick it there. That's a little bit big still, so we'll make it a bit smaller. Now I've downloaded a little crown icon from the internet, so we can insert that. So insert picture. I'm going to place it over cells, and we're going to find it on this device. So I can click on it and drag it because I've got that four-way arrow. It's far too big. Let's make it smaller. We can drag it and we can stick it there. Now that's a problem because it's overlaying the word crown carpet, so I don't want that. So what I need to do is make this white area transparent. You might think you're hitting the transparency, but no, you hit the color one. Down here at the bottom it says set transparent color. You get a little, while it's supposed to look like an eyedropper, click on the white area and it's now transparent, so it just shows the crown carpet words underneath. I don't want it in gold. I'd like it to be grey because it fits my corporate identity. So there's various colour options we've got here, and I'm going to recolour mine grey. There we go. That's looking quite nice, isn't it? We could then set this ready to be printed. The easiest way to do that is File, Print, Print Preview. There we go. That looks quite good. But I seem to have multiple pages here. So if we click on this little arrow here, this is not what I want. It's got loads of stuff I don't want on it. Okay, let's go back a step. First off, I'm going to move that column there. I think it should be further over. So we can grab all of these, got a four-way arrow, just drag it and we'll drop it there instead. That's better. So the reason we've got all this extra stuff is trying to print everything we've got on this sheet. So we're going to highlight just the area we want. Go to Page Setup, Set Print Area. And while we're here, we just check everything else. Orientation is portrait, correct. Size is, should be A4. And we're going to set it to print one page wide and one page long. Let's do File, Print Preview again. And notice most of those options are also here. So if you want to change things here, you can do it as well. That looks much better. Okay. However, before we leave, our part of our DAPA process is to make sure we explain what's supposed to happen. And I think we need to be quite clear which cells we need the user to fill in. So a number of ways of doing it. We could put some notes here. So we could say enter customer name. We could say enter customer address, but we could do it in multiple rows. So if you highlight the rows you want to do, enter. Excel's guessing that you want to put customer name in, which is not bad, but I want to change that to address. So I'm just going to change that last word to address. hit Control Enter, and it'll fill all those rows in for you. We do the same here. So we can enter room, Control Enter. Do the same here. Enter carpet options. Control Enter. Right, I think it makes sense if we change these different colors. So we can highlight this. We go to our Home tab. This is the font color box, and we're going to make it, say, dark blue. So we know that we need to fill in the dark blues. So we should fill those in dark blue. We need to fill those in, and we need to fill those in. I'll just double check those should not appear in our print preview, should they? File, print preview, correct. That's what we wanted. Okay, so we could save this now. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson on creating a data entry form. In our next session, with the link above, we're going to add a catalogue to this so we don't have to keep typing in the carpet type, colour and the cost. That also means it'd be more accurate. Hope to see you soon.